Good morning. Welcome to math class. Look, I've got a ruler. I've got a right triangle, another right triangle, and I've got groovy. Looks like a Santa sleigh. But I don't have a compass. Do you have a compass? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. If we get to a part in this book in which it says measure the angle with your compass, and you don't have one, don't worry about it. Not having a compass in a crisis is perfectly fine and will survive. Unless you are on a boat and you're using the kind of compass that tells you which direction you are, then you need a compass in a crisis. But right now, measuring angles, we will survive. All right, this chapter's got a lot, this section, lesson 3, has a lot of information in it. And it's... we're classifying triangles. We're describing triangles because it's not enough just to say a triangle has 3 sides. Now we want to know what kind of triangle it is. And there's a few different kinds of triangles. On page 915, there are 3 different triangles here. An isosceles triangle has 2 triangles that are the same size and one that's different. I think that looks like an isosceles triangle. I think this is the same, and that's the same, and that's longer. An equilateral triangle would also be called a regular triangle. An equilateral triangle, everything's the same. Equal, like equal. Everything's equal in an equilateral triangle. All the sides are exactly the same length, congruent. And then scalene got nothing to get. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Everything is different in a scalene triangle. Next page 916. There's even more ways to classify triangles. Thank you, classification. An acute triangle, a right triangle, and an obtuse triangle. That depends on your angles. Here's some angles right here. Angles are when 2 lines meet. What is that? How do they meet? In what way do they meet? These 2 meet. They're perfectly straight. They're perfectly. It's the way that a book. Kind of like it's a right angle up there. It goes this photo. They're all right angles. They meet perfectly perpendicular. They're little squares. And those are called right angles. And a right angle is always 90 degrees. 90 degrees. It's not the temperature. It is the angle. A circle. See if we can draw a circle back. Oh, look at that. It's not so bad of a circle for not having to watch it and drawing it from behind. Every circle has 360 degrees. And so if you divided that circle into 4 parts, like that, each one of those angles is 360 divided by 40. 90 degrees. 90 degrees are right, and 90-degree angles are right together. They come in perpendicular, right next to each other. 90-degree angle, right there. This angle is bigger than 90 degrees, and so it's called an obtuse angle. It's bigger than that one. A little bit more. This one is less. It's called acute. It's so cute. It's such an acute angle. Look at it. It's so tiny. Oh, it's a little acute angle. My dog hears me talking like this. Like, oh. He's got his dog voice on. An acute angle. So you can classify your triangles this way too. An acute triangle, so cute, has 3 angles that are less than 90 degrees. They're all little ones. And then a right triangle has 1 right angle and 2 acute angles. That one is 90 degrees. You can see it drawn here in your book on page 916. They put They put a little square there. That square is the symbol that is 90 degrees. And then an obtuse triangle, one of the angles is obtuse. Kind of sounds like obese. It's bigger than a 90 degree angle. All of the angles in a triangle, they add up to 180 degrees. Always, always, always. This angle plus this angle plus this angle is going to equal 180 degrees. I don't think we have to get into that, but keep it in the back of your mind for 8th grade. All right, let's see what we have to do in this chapter, in this lesson. Number 1, 916, classify the triangle based on its sides. Well, number 1, how many sides are the same? It's got one side that's 4 and 2 sides that are 2. What do you call a triangle that has 2 sides that are the same and one that's not? Answers on page 915. Classify the triangle based on its angles. All right, again, we're having to do this by sight. Is that a right triangle? No. Sometimes, like this one, I was like, is that a right angle right there? Is that 90 degrees? And I turn it, and I was like, no, I don't think it is. My guess is that all 3 of those angles are acute, and therefore it would be an acute triangle. Next page, determine the number of congruent sides for each triangle, then classify the triangle based on its sides. Number 3, those are the sides, they measure them for you. Are any 2 the same? No. What do you call a triangle that has no sides that are the same? Number 4, 2 of the sides are the same. What do you call that? Number 5, classify each triangle based on its angles. Again, it's going to be a little tricky if you don't have a compass, but it's okay. Do it by your eye. Number 5, I would say that angle on the top is bigger. Oh, yeah, it's right. If you hold it like that, if you make this flat, it's bigger than a 90 degree angle. And so what's bigger? It's an obtuse angle. And what do you call that? Triangle that has an obtuse angle in it. Number 6, those all look pretty acute to me. They look smaller to me. Number 7, what's that square mean in the corner? Yeah, you know. Number 8, again, they look smaller than the right angle. I think those are all acute. Draw each triangle. Yay, more drawing. Draw an equilateral triangle. Go for it. Number 10, draw a right triangle. Remember when you draw a right triangle to throw in that little square? Because that says it's a right triangle. It's a right angle. Whether I drew it correctly or not, it is. Number 11, turn the page. Half of a rectangular sandwich looks like a triangle. Classify it based on its angles. I am not a big fan of these triangles put on sandwiches pictures. Piece of bread, it's kind of square. When it's square, when two lines meet, it's called what? It's called what? When they're like that. When they're like that. So therefore, if one of the angles is a right angle, it is a right triangle. Number 12, measure the sides of the sandwich. Classify the triangle based on its sides. You don't have to measure it because that is poorly. A picture it's at a weird angle. Let's just say that both sides of the bread are the same. The bottom and the let's say those are the same. If 2 sides are the same, what do you call that kind of triangle? When 2 sides are the same. Ooh, this looks like a nice big one. Number 13. Emma, Gabriel, Jorge, and Michaela each drew a different triangle. Use the clues below to describe each person's triangle as isosceles, equilateral, or scalene, and also as acute, right, or obtuse. Gabriel and Jorge each drew a 90-degree angle in their triangle. What do you call a 90-degree angle? Answers on page 916. Gabrielle's triangle does not have any congruent sides. Okay, so, all right. So Gabrielle's has a right angle, but also none of the sides are the same. Like, so what do you call a triangle that has no sides that are the same? One angle in Emma's triangle measures greater than 90 degrees. If it's bigger than 90 degrees, what do you call that angle? And therefore, what do you call that triangle? Each side of Michaela's triangle and two sides of Emma's and Jorge's triangles are 4 centimeters long. Okay, so Michaela's, just start with Michaela. Every side of hers is 4 centimeters long. They're all the same. What do you call that? They're all the same. They're all equal. Emma's and Jorge's, they each have 2 sides that are the same. And so now we know that Emma's has 2 sides the same and a big angle. You got it? I'll give you the answers to this one soon. Number 14, how do I classify triangles using their attributes? Include a sketch of each type of triangle. How? How do I do that? They have given you 6 different kinds of ways of classifying triangles in this little lesson. You got your equilateral, where all the sides are the same. Your isosceles, where 2 of the sides are the same. And your scalene, in which no sides are the same. And then by angle, right angle, one of them is a perfect square. An acute triangle, all the angles are so cute, they're so small. And then you've got your obtuse triangle, in which one of them is much bigger than the 90 degrees. All right, I'm going to make another one with the answers. Get it right to you in a second. Bye.